Hello, my name is David Hankerson, and this presentation is entitled College Readiness in America for Critical Issues in Education for Hays State University. Today, I'm going to attack this critical issue by identifying the problem of college readiness, discuss high school graduation and college readiness rates, the definition of college readiness, and strategies for improving college readiness in America. To begin with, I want to start with a story. Of a teacher who stands at a blackboard and writes the following sentence on the board: I like bananas and apples. She then asks her class, does this sentence require a comma? The students reply emphatically, no. She then wrote the sentence, I like bananas, apples, and oranges, and repeated the same question. Now, one might think that this is a typical elementary school class or maybe even a middle school language arts course, but in fact, this is a remedial writing course offered at a Texas community college. All of the students in the class have graduated from high school and have passed all state required exams, yet they do not have the skills to be enrolled in an entry-level English course. In fact, every year, over 40% of college incoming freshmen must enter what has commonly become known as freshman purgatory. They are no longer in high school, but yet are not ready for college. This problem is a growing epidemic and one that is near and dear to my heart. What is college readiness and how is it determined? Who is responsible for ensuring that students graduate from high school college ready? In conducting my research, I will begin by gathering statistics and regarding college readiness on all levels and by varied demographics. In understanding college readiness, it's important to understand high school graduation and college readiness rates. National statistics gathered by government agencies are typically supposed to be deemed the most reliable, but oftentimes are the most implausible for various reasons. The National Center for Education Statistics define the completion rate as the percentage of persons 25 years or older who completed high school as 85%. Now, many would applaud this and celebrate it. However, these statistics are not consistent with reality and often are based on unreliable data. The NCES study uses data compiled by the Current Population Survey, which is administered to a representative sample of thousands of households by the U.S. Census. The reason the survey is unreliable is because it's dependent on the respondents to answer honestly and accurately, and most often in the case where we're asked about completion of high school, many respondents may be intimidated and unwilling to admit being high school dropouts. Moreover, as it relates to college readiness, the NCES bases college readiness on a student's class rank, GPA, and score on an aptitude or ACT or SAT test. Each student is based on his or her highest criteria. For example, if a student scored an aptitude test score which labeled him somewhat qualified, and then had a GPA that deemed him highly qualified, then the student is labeled highly qualified automatically. There is little to no consideration given to whether the student meets qualifications in all of the areas, thereby giving a false representation of college readiness in America. Now, J.P. Green developed an alternative method of calculation which estimates graduation rates based on the number of students who enter the ninth grade for a cohort group, make adjustments for the changes in population, and then divides that number by the total number of students who graduate with a standard diploma 4 years later. Now, although this method is not exactly flawless, it eliminates many of the apparent errors in government calculations and provides a more reasonable estimate of graduation rates. Now, in order to be deemed college ready by Green standard, all students must be high school graduates with a regular diploma, be able to read at a basic level, and have completed a minimum number of set course requirements deemed by average colleges and universities, like 4 credits of English, 3 credits of math, and 2 credits of natural science, social science, and foreign language. Any student that does not meet all 3 of these requirements is not deemed college readiness and not included in the college readiness rate. Therefore, the college readiness and high school graduation rates are nationally a total of 71%. The demographics are white 78%, African American 56%, and Hispanic 52%. The college readiness rates nationally are 40% of students are deemed college ready when they graduate from high school. 40% of those being white, 23% being African American, and 20% being Hispanic non-white. Now, in order to begin dissecting the critical issue of a lack of college readiness amongst high school graduates, one must first begin by understanding the definition of college readiness. It clearly cannot be limited to simply the high school graduation requirements, nor can it be understood as the mere academic requirements to gain admission to a post-secondary institution, but rather can be operationally defined as the preparation needed for a student not only to enroll in a post-secondary institution, but to succeed without remediation and earn a baccalaureate degree. Now, the most obvious indicator of the lack of college readiness in America is students' performance in college-level courses. Remedial or developmental education courses have now become the norm in college education, and the need for increased enrollment in these courses are indicative of a lack of college preparedness amongst high school graduates. Federal statistics show that over 40% of first-year freshmen must take at least one remedial course and estimates at a cost of nearly $1 billion per year. Being required to enroll in remedial courses increases the length of time needed to complete a degree program and decreases the likelihood that a student will graduate, thus making it abundantly clear that there is a lack of college readiness amongst high school graduates. Now, in improving college readiness, we must first recognize that in order to do so, it requires a joint responsibility on the part of the K-12 system and the post-secondary educational institutions. The premise being that each sector must be individually responsible for contributing to improving college readiness and that no party can solve the problem independently. In fact, it is necessary to connect the two sectors in order to improve college, not only to improve college readiness and preparedness of high school graduates, but also to influence their success throughout their high school career. Now, in order to do so, it must begin with an alignment of assessments. This is important because under No Child Left Behind and the movement towards standard-based testing, most of the benchmarks are geared towards 8th, 9th, and 10th grade students. Very few, if any, standards are developed for 11th to 12th grade students linked to college expectations. Additionally, incentives must be offered to not only the school but also the student. The school can receive budget incentives offered for increasing the rates of students who complete high school and subsequently enroll in college. And also, students can receive incentives for college enrollment as well. For example, Indiana's 21st Century Scholars Program is a model for offering incentives to students for college enrollment. The program begins by targeting low-income 8th grade students and requires them to pledge to finish high school, maintain a minimum of a C average, remain drug and alcohol free, apply for college, financial aid, and enroll in an Indiana post-secondary institution within 2 years of completing high school. As an incentive reward, the program pays 80 to 100% tuition and fees for students fulfilling the program requirements. This incentive program has been a major factor in raising Indiana from 34th in the nation in terms of percentage of high school graduates enrolled in college immediately following graduation to number 10 in the nation, thereby proving that student incentives are an excellent strategy in improving college readiness and increasing college enrollment. While it's true the notion that secondary and post-secondary institutions should retain their distinctiveness, in order for the issue of college readiness of high school graduates to ever be resolved, these two educational systems must be brought into alignment. As a 12th grade math teacher in a low-income inner-city school, I witnessed firsthand the failure on the part of the K-12 school system in preparing students with the necessary skills to be successful on a post-secondary level. Through my research, I see that there is a way to enact effective change in order to better prepare students for college demands, and it extends beyond the classroom. This research has influenced me to continue conduct my own studies and establish and develop feasible and economic solutions that would increase student preparedness. With the experience, education, and research opportunities, I plan to extend my learning beyond myself and influence schools, districts, and even legislature to create and monitor college readiness standards aligned to college expectations so that more students have the opportunity to attend college because they will be thoroughly prepared by the K through 12 system in order to do so. Thank you for listening to this presentation. I hope that it has benefited you in some way.